the land spirits. You know what a land spirit looks like? Toss the contents of the plates. Keep a hold on the glass and the dish. Don't let go. Just the contents. Up into the air to the land spirits. Then you can come back and set the dishes down in the back somewhere and come sit, okay? And I'll tell you when. I'll go make big gestures at you, okay? Juku kundu zongbo gombo yi, dorji sempa gara dorji dang, shiri singi shinde barlo, shinla barlo di, de dam abzan tata tusum chi, Dzogchen jupe lamala so de. Again, Pema Junila so deb. Dorji Chang Chitalo Narudang, Marpa Mila Gompo Tsatsapa, Na Pupadang Paldan Drupa so, Kagula namla solo deb. Ochen lama namla solo deb. Druchen lama namla solo deb. Kaginwari lama namla solo deb. Shakya lama namla solo deb. Nyandu dayundran lama namla solo deb. Pa kondu zhongdang yerme pa gungarab dorjishin chat pa jeti dang nisume pa pa lamanam che tente chong. Tantra goes really well with Mahamudra and with Dzogchen. Traditionally, if you want to practice either Mahamudra or Dzogchen, you have to know four things. You have to know that you actually have a full human opportunity. You have the health, the wealth, that's the health, mental and physical. You have the wealth of time, which is leisure. You have the curiosity to look outside the box. If you haven't got all four of these, it's going to be really hard for you to practice. Even if you have all four of these, you're going to die. Please notice this. I mean, really, don't pretend you're not. Gravity wins in the end. Your tits go south. Really, I don't care how perky they start out. It's gonna happen. Your hair falls out. Your belly grows round as if you were pregnant. And you hobble. Hobble, lip, go with a stick. This is going to happen unless you die first. Either way, you die. And everything you have goes away. Your beauty, your wealth, your friends, your family, your accomplishments, your education. All gone. This is one of the sufferings of samsara, that you lose everything in the end. You spend your life scrabbling to amass stuff, kids, a life, and then it's gone. And you wonder where the time went. Life hurts. Spending all your energy chasing after what you want, even though you know you can't keep it. Spending all your energy running away from what you fear. What do you fear? Loss of finances, loss of housing, death of loved ones, cancer, the extra 10 pounds that is in pursuit of you. What are you running away from? It's gonna catch you. And then you die. If you know these things and know them well, and understand how the laws of karma hold open the space-time continuum by attaching or connecting different moments within the perception of time that Homo sapiens have, with a past, a present, and a future. And the past moves to the present and it moves to the future, and you go only one way, you think. We call it cause and effect. That will do, but it's more than that. It's the interconnection of phenomena across time and space. It's how you steer by creating actions which open the heart and mind of yourself and others. You create gewa by performing actions which close the hearts and minds of yourself and others, causing stress in the mandala. You create digpa. The results of digpa is more stress, more tightness, more closeness, more small-mindedness, more upsetness. The results of gewa is more open-hearted, open-minded relaxation. And if you don't have enough relaxation, you cannot practice Mahamudra or Maha'ati. It requires relaxation as the first point. Tibetans have a very old saying, Mahamudra and Maha'ati are like anal sex. If you don't relax, it won't go in. Therefore, y'all, relax. I can't show you anything while you're in a state of tightness and stress, trying to get everything right. Relax. You are absolutely fine the way you are. Take a deep breath in through your nose, blow it out through your mouth, and relax. That settles the chi in your channels, like this. Relax. The first point of Mahamudra is Shine, the seat of stillness. Sitting in stillness. She is the word for peace, calmness. Ne has a lot of meanings. Seat, place, power place. Where the ley lines cross, certain places have a lot of power to them. A lot of Shinla. That's a nay. So this is a nay. We liken it to a place. But it's not outside of you. When you think of a place, think it's going to be out there, or back there, or over there, or maybe over there, or up there, or down there, or maybe inside or outside. This is not in any of those directions. So don't look inside. Don't look outside. Don't look above or below, to the left or the right, in front or behind. Relax. You're still thinking, and that's okay. Look through, between, around the thoughts you're thinking, at where they be happening. What moves? Moving. Trulwa. Thoughts move. Feelings move. Objects move. People move. Philosophies move. Even light moves. Relax. Let your attention open from its usual obsession with the stuff that moves. Sounds, sights, tastes, smells, feelings, it all moves. Don't try to make it stop moving. It can't. Because it is of the nature of movement. However, look at the where instead of the what. If you are a visual thinker, imagine a picture in your mind. A picture of this building that we are in from standing out front. Can you see the image? Where's the picture? This building won't fit between your ears. It won't even fit in this room. And yet you see it clearly. Follow the picture home. You are imagining the picture in your mind. Find your mind. Don't grab it. Don't try to make it do something. Find the stillness. of the vast openness of natural mind. Semni, relax. Don't try to poke at it. Don't try to stop thinking about it. Ignore that stuff. Don't pay it no never mind. Relax and relax again. Don't make anything fancy out of this. Just as all objects, matter, moves through space, so all thoughts and feelings move through mind. But space doesn't move. When a plane crosses the sky is unaffected. When the sun rises and sets, the sky, the space of the universe is unaffected by the dance of matter within it. This is an analogy. This is looking at mind with your mind. You, the seer, who has spent all day looking out from behind your eyes at this thing and that thing, this person and that person. Look instead at the stillness in which all the things and persons dance. To rest with your attention in stillness, reflecting the stillness like a mirror, while the moving goes and moves as it will, without you putting any attention on it. This is Shine, resting in stillness. Misha, could you pour me some water? I'll spill it all over myself if I try to do it at this angle. Are there any questions about Shine? You guys aren't used to me yet. You're still shy. When you get done being shy, then you'll start asking me questions. Let's put this down here so I can see people. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Except you got this damn habit of paying attention continuously to stuff that moves. So if I have you sit in Shine, try it. Sit in stillness as stillness. Relax yourself. Stop looking at stuff. Look at the space in which the stuff dances. A simple shift of attention. Something moved. Those of you near what moved, your eyes looked at it. And you had a thought about it. And there went your attention. That's what happens because of the habit. So there are methods to work with that habit. Yidam practice is one of them. How many of you have a yidam that you currently work with? Those of you who do not and would like one, start with Chenrezig, Avalokitesvara. It's a very good yidam as your first yidam. It is an aspect of Amitabha, brilliance beyond compare, the light by which the seer sees, the innate vitality of the universe. So as a manifestation of that, which is itself bodhisattva, open-hearted, open-minded, great-heartedness, where all Gewa leads, which leads to mass of Gewa. Mass, I don't like that word. Let's pick another one. Which leads to vastness of Gewa. Gewa and Digpa, it's not like point systems. And no, you don't get to collect it. I know many of the Tibetans think about collecting merit. It's an analogy, not real. Instead, think about what will lead forth to greater relaxation, greater openness, open-minded, open-heartedness, less hate, more love, less judgment of self or others. That's Gewa. And if you have enough Gewa, if you have created enough Gewa and it orbits around in your mandala, you and the people near you will easily perceive the stillness. And if you have too much tightness and stress and digpa orbiting around in your mandala, then you and those near you may find it difficult. Therefore, spend some time creating Gewa, not for yourself, but to fill your mandala, your surroundings, your nearbys and faraways, all your infinite connections. Fill it with Gewa. Yidam practice is an easy way to create Gewa. I want you to imagine those of you who have born children that you have your baby in your arms. They're right at that sweet spot in age when they're sleeping through the night, but not crawling around and getting into anything yet. You know that little sweet spot that doesn't last nearly long enough? Feel that you're holding that baby at that age on your chest. Reaches up its little hand and touches you and looks at you with absolute love and trust. And you feel that too. Some of you who have not had a baby may have had a puppy or a kitten or a hamster. I had a possum. No, really, my cat, who was also a very great bodhisattva, found it on the street. Just a little tiny baby possum. And she protected it and meowed for me to come. And she wouldn't let any of the other animals molest it. And I heard her crying, so I came. I found this tiny baby possum. And so ran out to the pet store and bought puppy milk for giving to puppies. And in an eyedropper, I fed it. And I carried it here in the front of my bra. They're marsupials. It was the closest thing I had to a pouch, my cleavage. And I fed it every couple of hours with an eyedropper and just kept it there nice and warm. I love that little guy. Named him Naropa. Because if you startle a possum, it rolls over and pretends it's dead. And Naropa's name means I am a corpse. He grew up slowly. When he was little and I'd go out to a coffee shop, you know, and I'd go in, he'd smell the cookies. You know, everybody kept pretending they didn't see it. You know, a long nose and two beady eyes peering out of my cleavage. It's like, how do you not see that, guys? Except for one coffee seller. He says to me, madam, are you aware that you have a in your Anyway, he grew up. I taught him to knock over garbage cans and find garbage and eventually let him go wild. I love that little guy, though, as if it was my baby. I want you to remember back to a time in your life when you felt that simple love for something. Can you remember? Somewhere, somewhen. I want you to imagine in your heart chakra. There's a lotus bud closed with 1,000 petals. It's closed because people have kicked you in the heart during your life. Ex-wives, ex-lovers, kids in middle school, the mean girls. So it's all closed to protect itself. But when you water it with that feeling of simple love, like you have for your baby, your kitten, your puppy, your possum, whatever you have loved in that way, with simplicity, not the complexity of your lover. That's got all sorts of stuff mixed in. You water your lotus bud with the feeling, and it blooms. and it opens, and 1,000 petals elongate into rays of light that reach out to 1,000 living beings to their heart and water the lotus bud in their heart with that feeling of love, so that the lotus buds in their hearts bloom and the petals elongate and reach out with 1,000 rays of light to the hearts of living beings. And so it proliferates, multiplying by 1,000 each time. While this is happening, you visualize the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum going around on the stamens clockwise, and the syllable Hri standing in the middle. And you imagine this happening while you say the mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Keep imagining the rays of light going out more and more, 1,000 times 1,000, to all the beings in the whole wide world and beyond this planet, filling the galaxy and the oceans and the microbes too, thousands by thousands. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Say it with me, guys. And so many rays of light from 1,000 living beings touching the hearts with love until the entire universe is nothing but rays of light, so full it's as if it was solid light everywhere. Clear, transparent light filling all of space. Rest in the light. Rest in the stillness. And the bliss of the stillness of the light. Relax. Relax again. Let the mantras and the movements dance as they will. Open wide your attention into the infinite, bottomless, boundaryless stillness. Beyond space and time. Unlimited by concept. And yet, not a big dead old nothing. Vital and alive. With the clear light nature, which is the nature of love, which is the nature of life. And the life and the love dance and move in the stillness. As the stillness, for there are no things but infinite light to move. What you have mistaken as phenomena is simply infinite rainbows dancing in the clear, transparent light of the stillness. For there are no things which move. Nor is there a limitation of time or space to the stillness. Refresh yourself from your exhaustion of pursuing and paying attention to phenomena. Refresh yourself by resting in stillness. This is the cause of Gewa and the result of Gewa. This is both path and fruition. This is both Mahamudra and Mahati. There is no thing moving. And yet the dance continues forever, and that which is the nature of moving will dance without a single thing to move, dancing in stillness as stillness. This is the infinite clear light which is inherent to the Dharmakaya nature of mind, your own mind. The light which is simply the aliveness and vitality which is yourself. Awake, aware, relax, rest in stillness. Do not confuse the idea of stillness or the feeling of bliss with the innate and natural bliss of the actual stillness which has never moved. For ideas and feelings move. No, they are not things. You cannot sit on them or use them as a table. But they move. Your sensory perceptions of your 6 sense organs in a continual state of motion, and yet no actual thing moves. And so the motion arises in stillness as stillness, and the innate nature of stillness pervades all movement. And nonetheless be quite precise. Do not confuse which is which, even while recognizing them as the same thing. Are there questions? Get over your shyness. Shyness is an ego trip. Cut it out and relax.
It's tiring.
What do you find to be tiring?
Still meditating, like still all the time.
Ah, you're not relaxing enough. When you relax in stillness, you can move, you can scratch an itch, or blink. The stillness is not the stillness of you not moving. The stillness is the natural, all-pervading stillness of the infinite open awareness of ground of mind itself. And you do not have to hold still to rest in stillness. Do you ever dance? Next time you're dancing, try to find the stillness in the movement.
I did
Find the stillness in the movement of your dance. Who else? In the back. Talk loud. Oh, you got a mic. Excellent.
Cómo aprovechar todas las experiencias, agradables o de rechazo o desagradables, para despertar en la vida cotidiana.
How to make use of all experiences, whether pleasant or unpleasant, to awake in daily life.
By not fighting with them.
No lucharlo contra él.
When you have an experience, which is moving, by the way, experiences do that, they come and go. You will have noticed by now that anything that comes is going to go eventually. When you have an experience, you label it. Do you like root beer? There's a kind of like Coca-Cola soda that you put ice cream in. It's quite a treat. Do you like it?
You put ice cream in?
Yeah, it's an ice cream and soda mix. But it's a sweet soda like Coca-Cola. May try to find a better analogy then. Americans know root beer. Now let me find something that you have in your country that some people love and some people hate. Ah, the white asparagus that comes in a jar. Do you like it? Keep that stuff away from me. It's squishy. So the experience of having that white asparagus that comes in the jar, not the fresh one, but the jar one in your mouth, we could both be having that experience. You'd be naming it pleasure. I'd be naming it suffering. And yet it's the same experience. So when you look through the experiences as the moving, so that you are able to see what we call the dance of moving stillness, the secondary judgment that is placed on an experience can happen, but it does not hold water. Do you have that say something just doesn't hold water? It isn't.
Like it doesn't have a solidity.
It doesn't have a solidity. When you become aware of the sparkle of the moving in the clear light of awareness, which is of the nature of stillness, and the three kaya are seen singularly, all experiences it thins out your need to grab and shove at them. I want more of this kind of experience. I want less of that kind of experience. You're grabbing and shoving. As you begin to perceive the nature of the experiencer and the nature of the experience, there is less and less urge to grab and shove. But you can't make this happen. Not by grabbing at it or shoving it. That just makes it worse. However, the more time you spend relaxing in the open awareness, which recognizes the stillness, the which is itself the vitality, which recognizes the stillness and the movement as singular as itself, there is less and less need to make it go the way you think it should, which is the grabbing and pushing. Was that helpful? The short answer, practice. Other questions? Yes, you, in the gray t-shirt.
What's the difference between machine exile and just hypnosis and pointing out in Dzogchen?
I use different words than are used in Dzogchen. I did exactly the same thing. But I used the words stillness and movement rather than mind itself and the thoughts that move within it. Vocabulary. Certain words are traditional in Mahamudra. Certain words are traditional in Mahā'ati. Both are introduced by pointing out. The words really don't have that much to do with the pointing out. The fourth one is the key. But in order for people to follow you to where you're pointing, you have to catch them with words. Catch the attention of someone you're pointing out for, and then point.
y ahí señalar.
If you don't catch their attention, they're not even going to notice.
Tomar su atención, la
It's subtle enough.
se dan cuenta, pero es muy sutil.
Shine, or rather
Shine,
Mahamudra,
bien, Mahamudra,
will emphasize Shine
sabe Shine,
and resting in stillness and coming to know the stillness
conocer la quietud.
really well,
Muy bien,
learning to
viendo
spend more and more time
tiempo,
not poking the moving,
deseando,
not grabbing it, not trying to make it go away, just resting in stillness. That's a really fast way to create a whole bunch of Gewa. Since enlightenment is not something one can do on purpose.
no es algo que uno puede
Striving is completely counterproductive because it's chasing stuff.
seguir.
Chasing and running, it's what traps you in samsara.
Eso es vivir, eso es lo que atrapa.
So, pulling together enough Gewa to create a happy accident called enlightenment is always a good idea. The Yidam practice of Chenrezig, which I showed you in its simplest version, I did not add the complexity of visualizing the 1,000-arm Chenrezig in your heart, standing on the lotus in the middle with the mantra and its art going around, just adds another layer. You can do it that way if you like. But you don't have to. The key is light as love sent to all life, and returning to your heart from all life, and being passed on and on and on and on to fill the entire universe, which is with the light by which the seer sees, the vitality of awareness, Sambhogakaya nature of mind, the midpoint that you identify with, to bring the moving and the stillness together as singular. In Dzogchen, we enter into it a little differently. We don't so much emphasize Shine as a method, although it really does help. But some people can't do it. So you run them through a nundro. They still can't do it. They just can't take their attention off the moving. So you run them through another nundro. Still doesn't work. I have a very good example of that. I had a very patient teacher. Then he ran me around all over the place through all sorts of adventures until I finally gave up and stopped grabbing after Dharma realizations, Dzogchen, Dzogchen. And when I stopped chasing it and just relaxed into the practice as it was utterly obvious. At that time, I wasn't teaching. I was still a translator for Rinpoche. And he had taught me 3 words of Garab Dorji and Mahamudra hundreds of times. It didn't go in. I didn't quite get what he was on about. Finally, after 30 years of following him around, translating for him, looking after him, I gave up. I said, I'm not going to get it. I lack the ability. I've always been considered smart, able to think myself out of every mess, and I can't think myself out of this one. You get the joke there. the thoughts are moving.
Los pensamientos se mueven.
So I decided I'm just going to translate as best I can for him, and maybe somebody else out there will get it.
Y lo va captando en la vida.
So I gave up and just started doing that.
Simplemente comencé
I got it,
y lo
what he was pointing at.
lo que él estaba
Mind you, that wasn't the end of my training.
supuesto no fue el final de la.
Do you understand? You have to relax into it. And it really is the same Dzogchen, Chogchen. Just sort of the vocab and the methods are a little different. And Yidam practice, Nundro, the four tuning minds, they really help a lot. So it's a good idea to practice them if you can. Other questions?
Hay más preguntas. La ofrenda del principio. ¿Puedes hablar por el micrófono? Ok. La ofrenda del principio, que dos personas locales han ido una a la otra. So the offering from the beginning, two local people went in one direction. Hacia los espíritus seguramente de la ciudad o del entorno. Towards the spirits, probably of the city or the environment. Supongo que será algún tipo de bendición o de significado, perdón, el significado implícito de ese ofrecimiento. ¿Cómo sería? Se puede practicar. Which is the like the inner meaning of this offering? Can you explain a little bit of this?
We're all in this together.
Todos estamos juntos.
Them too.
Ellos también.
It would be a shame not to invite all beings in the vicinity to come and join us. And the best invitation is an offering of tea and cookies or whatever you wish like that. Wine and Crispies, a snack. Spirits of place can help or hinder your practice on the outer level. On the inner level, it's Bodhicitta. We're all in this together. Those you can see and those you can't see. You can't see the microbes, but they're in this samsara with us. If you drop alcohol like a poison onto a slide, and you look through the microscope, they run away from it. If you drop sugar water, glucose molecules, onto the slide, they move towards it. The definition of sentient being is one who experiences aversion and attraction. They're alive. They're in this with us. Consider, you're not an entity, you're an ecology. You and your biome. And who makes the decisions there? All of us. And the pigeons, and the stray dogs, and the cats in the alleys at night, and the land spirits, and the cockroaches. We're all in this together. Sharing is Gewa. Causing happiness in your environment, in your mandala, is Gewa. What's the easiest way to make somebody happy? Give them a gift. Works almost every time. Important. Did this answer your question?
Sí, muchas gracias. Y ya añadiendo, los protectores que hacen la ofrenda tienen alguna cualidad en particular o es algo de alguna intención. Perdón, los protectores que han sido que han hecho la ofrenda y tienen alguna cualidad particular de uno que de otro, o
Las personas que hicieron la ofrenda,
que necesitan a los protectores que han hecho la ofrenda, a los espíritus. Sí, así lo he entendido, ¿eh? Igual me entonces.
Land spirits and protectors are not the same thing.
los espíritus de la tierra y los protectores no son lo mismo.
Los protectores he entendido que son los que hacen la ofrenda.
Oh, he understood that the protectors are those who make the offering.
¿No?
No,
Ah, vale, vale.
no.
No,
Great lamas
grandes lamas
have befriended
han hecho amigos
certain big land spirits.
los grandes espíritus de la tierra.
And in befriending them, they have taught them Dharma
Les han enseñado Dharma
and offered them and given to them bodhisattva vows
han dado los votos de Bodhisattva
and enlisted them because they have power.
porque tienen poder.
Like angels, like demons, they have power.
Como demonios tienen poder.
Enlisted them to
Los
support
han
the Dharma.
apoyado al Dharma.
And so we know them by name.
Así les conocemos los nombres de estos seres.
They are not yidams.
Son Yidams.
They are gods.
Son algo así como dioses.
What's the difference between a god and a devil?
Dios y un demonio.
Whether you agree with their agenda or not.
El programa que tienen o las intenciones que tienen o no.
You're going to call it a devil if it eats people.
Un diablo si se
Being a people yourself,
tú eres una persona,
you're a
diablo,
pet cat.
tu mascota, tu gato,
So sweet.
¿eh?
How do you think the mice feel?
Piensan que lo ve un ratón.
It's a monster
Es un monstruo,
or it's a lovable baby?
un amoroso bebé.
Your perspective differs from that of the mouse.
Se debe dar al ratón.
So in the same way, our protectors have been enlisted,
Protectores han sido disfrazados,
but they're not yidams, which are archetypes of certain energies that flow within the universal unconscious.
tienen el consciente universal.
And
Y
they are not
no son
land gods,
espíritus de la tierra, dioses de la tierra.
the smaller ones locally around and the bigger ones on Mount Olympus.
Grandes por estas montañas.
Where are we? We're in Spain. What were the names of the old gods here
Dioses aquí.
before the Romans came?
Romanos.
Anybody remember?
¿Alguien recuerda eso?
Well, I guess they died.
Los dioses.
There's new ones now.
Ahora hay nuevos.
Same thing, more the difference as the same.
Claro, es como lo mismo.
If you like them, you call it a god. If you don't like them, you call it a devil.
Sino un diablo.
And then the little ones you call angels and demons, depending on whether or not it helps people or eats people.
Demonios, dependiendo si ayudan a la gente, se la comen.
Some of the ones that eat people got tamed by Guru Rinpoche.
Que se comen a la gente fueron domados por Guru Rinpoche.
Sorta.
Más o menos.
But you don't want to offend them
No quieres ofender.
because they're not enlightened. They're just like you and me,
Son como
practitioners.
practicantes.
And you know within your own Sangha how you could accidentally piss somebody off, causing them to perhaps retaliate.
Quizás tome venganza, son
Don't piss stuff off that's bigger than you are.
ofendas
That's never a good idea.
más grandes que ti.
So you're gentle with the protectors.
Sé amable.
Does this help make sense of protectors?
Dar un poco de
And
Thank you very
other questions?
Hay más preguntas.
This side now. No, cute guy in front in the white shirt.
El muchacho trabajo
In the stillness,
en la actitud.
you can see the movement of matter in space.
Yes.
In the same analogy, in your mind, you can see the movement of thoughts, feelings, emotions.
Yes. You realize, however,
Te abres las fuentes.
that there is no such thing as matter.
No hay tal cosa como materia.
Quantum physics. Even take an atom apart.
Incluso
An electron, how much does it weigh? An electron is a little bit of nothingness spinning in a counterclockwise manner.
girando de forma.
You can take a positron apart,
Puedes separar.
then you're going to have quarks stuck together with gluons, and there's some other ones I don't remember the names offhand. But you can keep taking it apart, and you just keep finding space. The same is true of the moving in the stillness. You cannot catch a thought and show it to me. All the thoughts you thought last Tuesday, where'd they go? Did they leave any residue? The feelings? All gone. You probably can't even remember why you were grouchy Tuesday morning.
I'm curious. I have two questions. First one is, who's the seer? Who's seeing? The second one is, does the seer have sense of humor?
It better. Humor. That's the lube from my earlier analogy. My impression is, oh yes, for the sense of humor. The first question, who is the seer? There is no way I can actually answer that in words. Therefore, would you please look for yourself when you rest in stillness? Because you're getting homework tonight, guys. When you rest in stillness later this evening. And there is the moving of the thoughts and feelings that occur and unoccur and that. And you rest in the stillness. Who rests? What's it made of? Is it moving or is it still? You go find that out for yourself and tell me about it tomorrow. All of you tonight, rest in stillness. Relax. There is no wrong. Let go of all your attempts to achieve perfection. You don't have to make the stillness perfect. It's always been perfect from beginningless time. It doesn't need your help with that. Relax and let it be what it is. See if you can change your habit a little bit, gently, your habit of obsessing with the moving. Slowly, gently, See if you can relax the cramp caused by that continuous obsession with what comes, what goes, what you think, how you feel about it. That. Let it be. It wants to natter at you, let it natter. Open your attention and relax into the stillness while it natters as it will. You know how when some little kids can talk for like half an hour at you. At some point, you're not listening. How was your day? Not all little kids. Some of them can't do that, but the ones that can, at some point, it's like, oh. Would you like a sandwich? Treat your habit, your obsession, like a little kid. There's nowhere for it to hurt itself, so you can take your attention off it. A little kid in a safe place. Other questions? You all satisfied for tonight, or did we have somebody in the back? Jan, was that you having a question? Oh, there's somebody here having a question. Thank you.
How to recognize Rigpa, and in case I recognize how to persevere in this, cómo perseverar en este, persevere in this state.
Oh, pish tosh, don't even try.
Oh,
Rigpa
Rigpa
is what's looking out from behind your eyes. It's you. How could you possibly miss it? It's the aliveness, the awareness, the seer. The one that sees the stillness and the movement together as the singular dance of stillness. And there's nothing to maintain. You've always been there and always will. That's the problem with Dzogchen. You're trained in Dzogchen, aren't you? So this is one of the good things about Mahamudra. We separate the moving from the stillness in the beginning. In Dzogchen, we wait until you've been stuck trying to stabilize the moving, some part of the moving, such as your attention, your feeling of Rigpa, yada, 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 until you've been trying to stabilize some bit of the moving for years. Then we tell you. We take you off in the forest and run you around for a while. In another year or two, it'll be time for that retreat here in Europe again. You cannot stabilize the moving. If you experience Rigpa as a mood of awareness, an experience of clarity, it's moving. If it comes, it's gonna go. This is why we call nyams meditative experiences. In the Japanese Zen system, they're called comes and goes. If they come, great, let them come.
Deja que venga.
But don't try to hold on and stabilize them. They're moving. They're going to go. The stillness has never moved.
Nunca se mueve.
It is beyond time and space. It is the context in which time and space moves.
Espacio se mueve.
The awareness
Ciencia.
is the perceiver.
Perceptor.
All perceptions
Todas
move.
las percepciones se mueven.
Now, wasn't that nicer than you having to try to stabilize the moving for 3 years before I tell you?
Es mejor esto de tratar de estabilizar el movimiento por 3 años antes de que
Which is what they fucking did to me.
que es lo que necesita una vida sea.
Comentabas que si por casualidad entras en ripa o algo así, no busques estabilizar esto.
So you were commenting that if you enter Rigpa by chance, don't try to stabilize this.
Correct. You are Rigpa. What do you mean you enter it? If you enter it, you're going to go out of it.
Si entras, vas a salir de nuevo.
To enter and to go out are movement. No, don't try to stabilize the moving. It's futile.
El movimiento es inútil.
Learn to trust
Aprende a confiar.
that which does not move.
Que no se mueve.
Hence the practice of Shine being so damn
Pero
useful.
de Shine tan útil.
Other questions?
Hay más preguntas.
Actually, get the guy in the back first, because he's closer. And I'll get you next.
Te voy a
En mi caso, cuando practico Shine, experimento mucha paz.
I experience a lot of peace.
Bueno, no me da vergüenza por ponerme como objetivo buscar esta quietud.
I have never had the goal to search
Lo
for
aplicaré por eso.
stillness. Perdón, la pregunta.
Lo aplicaré, lo aplicaré.
I will apply this.
Me gustaría, la pregunta que hago es,
So the question is,
por ejemplo, de las deidades,
so I see all the deities,
con esquemas cruzados
legs crossed,
en loto completo, posición de loto.
full lotus.
Yo esta posición no la aguanto más de 5 minutos.
I can't stand this position for more than 5 minutes.
Me gustaría saber su opinión.
I would like to know your opinion.
Recomienda que nos familiaricemos con este tipo de posiciones que a lo mejor al principio son incómodas
Do you recommend us
o
to
desnecesarias.
familiarize with this position?
How are you with a half lotus, with your left leg on the inside and your right leg on the outside, but not the full lotus with your feet on top?
Si no el loto completo, sino medio loto. ¿Cómo te llevas?
Sí, así es como practico yo medio loto y está muy bien.
Yeah, this is how I practice, and it's very good for me.
Good. I'd say go with that. Not everyone.
Haciendo esto, no
You pretty much have to train into that when you're a teenager.
entrenar en eso cuando eres un adolescente.
Now, I did, and I could spend the full night in a full lotus when I was young and skinny.
Cuando era delgada y joven.
You got to have skinny thighs or it won't work.
Que tener muslos delgados no funciona.
So when I was living in my cave, I only had a gom tree. I didn't have a bed.
Caja de meditación, no tenía cama.
And you do sit full lotus for the night, which has its advantages.
Tiene sus ventajas.
But here where we have houses and cities and we're not living wild,
No vivimos salvajes.
I think a half lotus is just fine. And for those who can't, there's something called the Maitreya
Se
position.
llama la posición de Maitreya.
If you were to Google
Si googleas
how to adjust your office chair so it is totally ergonomic,
sea totalmente ergonómica,
you would find the instructions for the Maitreya position.
no es para la posición de Maitreya.
Back straight,
La espalda derecha,
lumbar support,
el apoyo de
feet flat on the ground,
los pies apoyados,
thighs,
en el piso,
perpendicular to, not perpendicular, parallel to the ground, calves absolutely perpendicular, legs sort of together, but not tightly held together, hands relaxed on your thighs, double chin for the curvature of the neck, mouth slightly open, teeth slightly open. Don't clench your jaw. Eyes relaxed. For Shine, aiming them slightly downward is considered useful. It slows the thoughts and makes it easier for you to rest your attention in stillness. Once you have brought the moving and the stillness together, the eye gaze becomes straight ahead. Once you have recognized the dance of moving stillness. Trul tra cham. Other question?
Si me permite, just
Oh, okay.
no, esta pregunta me ha salido ahora, no había su respuesta. Cuando decía que pasaba la noche entera en posición de loto, meditando. Spending the night, the full night in lotus position. Tengo curiosidad, ¿dormía en esta posición? So I was curious, did you sleep in this position?
Oh, yes. When nothing was happening around me.
Thank you.
It's not hard. But I was barely 24. I mean, I'm just a little kid. I've been sitting like that since I was 22. You know, you pretty much have to learn when you're before you're full grown.
Al principio dijiste algo de la conexión de los fenómenos y me interesa escuchar algo más. Bueno, si puedes elaborar un poco más sobre esto.
De la conexión de los
fenómenos. Que habló del espacio y el tiempo, que no había tiempo ni espacio y había conexión de los fenómenos.
Okay, so you talked about what she says connection of phenomena beyond time and space, that actually there is no reality like time and space and phenomena are connected. Can you say something more about this?
Phenomena are connected within time and space. They are the dance of moving which holds the time-space continuum open. The stillness contains time and space. It is not contained by it. It is empty. It does not contain anything. Look for yourself and see this. Don't think about it. Look. Your thoughts won't go there. You lack the language to think it. It is unthinkable, inconceivable. Therefore, look at it yourself without attempting to describe it. See the stillness. Rest in the stillness as the awareness, the vitality, the lucidity, the luminosity, the clear light nature of the emptiness. And let that light sparkle as phenomena. Yes. Up here, I promised you next.
Te había prometido a ti.
Gracias. Perdón mi pequeña comprensión, pero la quietud es similar o es el vacío o estoy totalmente confusa y equivocada.
Please excuse my limited understanding, but is stillness equal to void or to emptiness? Or I am completely mistaken?
Yes, it is.
Sí lo es.
The stillness is the stillness of vast, infinite emptiness, Dharmakaya nature of mind. The awareness is the lucidity of that, the clear light nature inherent in that. And the phenomena, the dance of phenomena of all things that are and aren't, are the sparkle of that clear light, the creativity of the lucidity, which is awareness. Didn't that gentleman in front of you have a question? No, he's not wiggling, so never mind. Did you have a question? Okay. Who else? In the back again. Thank you for running that microphone back and forth.
We are so Sanka from Ukraine came to you.
Oh, you made it.
We want you to make a present of a traditional Ukrainian t-shirt. I don't know how.
Go up the stairs.
Our tradition, like a sacred knitted, hand knitted.
Oh.
This one just small mirror for your treasure box. If the previous one was broken.
Yes. It's beautiful. Oh my. Oh yes. And I think you got it big enough. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug? Mm.
And Lavela, if you would be so kind with a couple of your friends, we would really love to invite you for our traditional Ukrainian lunch tomorrow. We already made a huge pot of borscht and vanilli. I think it might be tasty.
Where?
But in our apartment, we are renting an apartment.
Is it nearby?
No, we by taxi. We will go there by taxi.
Okay, check in with Jan, who does my scheduling,
Yeah. Okay.
and I'll see if I can make it possible.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I do believe that we are complete for tonight. You'll come back in the morning, there's more. What time tomorrow?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Nge wandi nyo duda che che sala go pashu. We are all in this together. May all beings be free.